Since day one on the platform, Vitaly has been his own worst enemy, nuking his credibility with staged hoaxes, to physically attacking strangers in the street. He is the definition of a clout chaser who acts first and deals with the fallout never. But when you drag that reckless attitude into the real world where actions actually have consequences, you end up hearing this: you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. What is going on, everyone? I am the Who Else, bringing you weekly deep dives into internet culture. And in this episode, we are dissecting the downfall of the platform's most notorious chaotic force, Vitaly. We will look at how he consistently set fire to his own legacy just for clicks, why the man refuses to evolve, and the specific incidents that completely obliterated his personal and professional life. Before the fame, Vitaly hustled hard to get noticed, trying everything from professional skateboarding to stints in the adult entertainment industry. He was desperate to break out. He wanted stardom at any cost, but his golden ticket turned out to be the exploding genre of YouTube pranks. Back in the early 2010s, prank content was the Wild West, and Vitaly jumped on the bandwagon right before it went supernova. His breakout moment came with the notorious Miami zombie video, where he terrified pedestrians by growling and sprinting at them like a member of the undead. While that upload pulled in a staggering 30 million views and skyrocketed his sub count, the fear he captured and the reason it blew up was rooted in something much darker. It capitalized on a horrific real-life event that had happened just days earlier, where a local man named Ronald Popo was savagely mauled. The attacker, Rudy Eugene, actually ate the victim's face, earning the nickname the Miami Zombie. The city was terrified and completely on edge. Vitaly knew exactly how scared people were, and he exploited that mass panic for internet points. Sure, it launched his career, but it also permanently twisted his understanding of entertainment. He learned that harassment, disrespect, and monetization of trauma was a winning strategy. That toxic formula would eventually destroy him, but back then, it was printing money. He was racking up tens of millions of hits with titles like Russian Hitman, The 60-Second Challenge, and messing with women in front of police officers. Then came the infamous Gold Digger series. He got so big he even starred in a feature film, Natural Born Pranksters, teaming up with legends like Roman Atwood and Dennis Rohde. For years, they dominated the algorithm. Clips like "Get away from my car, you absolute creep" were everywhere. But when you conquer the internet, where do you go next? By 2019, Vitaly's behavior was spiraling out of control. He crossed the 10 million subscriber milestone, solidifying his status as a titan of the platform. He went from a nobody bothering locals to a global celebrity. But that level of unchecked chaos came with a heavy price tag. He was constantly in handcuffs, racking up arrest records and spending nights behind bars throughout his rise to the top. His rap sheet includes some insane stunts, like illegally scaling the Hollywood sign. Just listen to the news reports from that day. We begin at 6:30 with breaking news. Good evening, I am Michael Ullman. A suspect, identified as an internet personality, has scaled the landmark. He is now in custody. He also famously streaked across the field during the 2014 World Cup final. And who could forget him filming his illegal climb of the Great Pyramids of Giza? He was shouting, "I do not want to swear because this is holy ground. I love you, world. Thank you to the universe. Thank you, Mother Nature, for this life. Stop the wars, stop the hatred. We are all equal." Thanks for watching. See, his time in the prank game wired his brain to believe that causing a public scene was the only path to relevance. It did not matter how idiotic the stunt was. This toxic philosophy was reinforced because he never faced real jail time for his crimes. But Vitaly's luck was about to run out completely. His chaotic lifestyle was on a collision course with disaster. On April 12, 2020, Miami law enforcement rushed to his location after receiving a frantic emergency call. "Tell me exactly what is happening, ma'am. There is someone outside beating the life out of a person. Do you see any weapons? No? No. He is just relentlessly attacking them." Okay, we have a female victim on the ground. Suspect is punching her in the face. The attacker was Vitaly. According to police reports and his own admissions later, he had ingested a massive dose of magic mushrooms. This triggered a psychotic break and intense hallucinations. He wandered out of his house and locked eyes on a lone female jogger. He charged at her. She tried to flee, but he tackled her onto the pavement and started pummeling her with closed fists. The injuries to her face and eyes were so gruesome they cannot be displayed on this platform. Witnesses intervened, and Vitaly ran back to his house. Minutes later, the police swarmed his property to take him down. Tell your friend to stay back. Put your hands on the vehicle. No, put your hands on the car. Right there. Put your hands behind your back now. Stop moving. Hey, let me get another cup. As the body cam footage hit the web, Vitaly's career instantly evaporated. Sponsors, followers, and fellow creators cut ties immediately, but getting cancelled was the least of his worries. The nightmare was just beginning. When that lawsuit dropped the very next week, saying Vitaly was in deep water doesn't even begin to cover it. He wasn't just staring down a mountain of legal fees. His cash flow was drying up fast as sponsors fled the sinking ship. YouTube then yanked ads from his prank library, choking off his income. As if the universe wanted to kick him while he was down, a skydiving stunt nearly ended him. He was trying to hype up his adult site, using a parachute as a flying billboard. Problem was, the rig was way too small. It didn't catch enough wind, turning his skydive into a plummet. Broken bones, ruined reputation, dead career. Vitaly went dark for 2 years to heal up and fight that court battle. He spent months in rehab learning to walk again. It wasn't until July 6th, 2022 that he resurfaced with a Facebook video. Yo, what's good? Been wanting to make this for a minute, just wasn't in the headspace. Need to fill you in on the hell I've been living through these past 2 years and why I ghosted. Real talk? I quit posting because I was fried. It stopped being fun and turned into a corporate grind. Hung with a bad crowd, let the clout rot my brain. I was chasing highs, drowning in booze, and jet-setting with models. Looks like the dream life, right? But deep down, the substances left me empty. Landed myself in some heavy legal drama, the kind of mistake that haunts you forever. After dropping that confession, he swore he'd turn a new leaf to his fans. But there was a catch. He conveniently skipped the details about his victim. Instead, he gave us this. I need to say sorry to everyone tuning in. To the world, to everyone, I disappointed, my bad. I was isolated, broken after everything went down. Can't point fingers, the people I rolled with were fake, and I spiraled into a dark depression. Cost me everything. Like I said, no excuses. I own it. I messed up big time. Apologies to the listeners, the fans, the haters, even strangers. Look at the wreckage. Drugs and booze nearly took me out, torpedoed my work, torched my relationships. Basically, lost it all. It was clear Vitaly was trying to charm his way back into relevance. But while the audience bought the apology, one little comment hinted at the real engine driving his return. Money. 7 months sober and I'm feeling prime. Got that hunger back. I want to create for the love of it, not the paycheck. Yeah, right. Regardless of the spin, Vitaly was back online. But the new leaf didn't last long. By early 2023, the mask slipped. He ditched YouTube for Kick, pivoting to live in real-life streams. You'd think the hiatus taught him something. Maybe a fresh style, less toxicity? Nope, old habits die hard. He went straight back to bothering strangers on the street, channeling his cringeworthy past. How's it going? Good. Doing good? Let me ask you something. Okay, can I toss your salad? Excuse me? My bad. This isn't a real conversation. No. Sorry. Why the pink shirt? So, I thought. No, listen, welcome to Miami. I'm on a mission, looking for black girls like you to please all night long. Naturally, nobody cared. That 2014 Edgelord act fell flat, so viewership tanked. Desperate, Vitaly decided to go nuclear. Come 2024, he pivoted to predator hunting, teaming up with big names like Adin Ross for sting ops. Get on the ground, come on, what did I do? I'm gonna smash your face in, you filth. You wanted to hook up with me? No, you deserve to die. Dad? No, I didn't want. You wanted the rear end. No, I didn't. When did I say that? I know what you wanted. He looks like a 50-year-old kid. You wanna know, bro. With a target everyone agrees is villainous, and an audience hungry for vigilante justice, Vitaly found his golden goose. He doubled down immediately. For months, he and his crew ran a conveyor belt of stings, shaming one creep after another. The shock value worked. View counts exploded, followers poured in by the hundreds of thousands. It ultimately landed him a massive contract with Kick, courtesy of Adin Ross. I pulled 400 million impressions. Who do I bill? Send it to me. For real? Yeah, I'll greenlight it. Oh, wow. Let's go. Listen, no cap. I'm keeping it 100 with you. This is raw, unfiltered talent. You guys have zero clue about the absolute fire I'm about to drop on this site. Seriously, they need to sign me immediately. Forget the entry-level offers. I'm worth way more than the minimum wage deals. They need to back up the Brinks truck for him. But looking past the hype and viral metrics, his crusade against alleged creeps raises some massive red flags the moment you start digging. First off, the vast majority of these guys he exposes They almost never see the inside of a jail cell, and even when law enforcement actually shows up, the charges rarely stick. It doesn't matter how famous the target is, the legal hammer just isn't coming down. It gets worse. While he's playing vigilante hero, he's simultaneously shoving sketchy crypto betting sites down his audience's throat without blinking an eye. The dissonance is wild. You see him tormenting a suspect, literally commanding them to grovel and worship his sneakers. Lick the shoe. Do it now. Thanks, pal. Then, instant pivot to spinning digital slots for the kids watching at home. Man, if I bust here, it's over. Alright, choose a tile. Just tap anywhere on the monitor. Don't mess this up. Good dog. I'm generous, so here's one last shot. We need a win here. Come on, show me the money. Yes, this guy is printing cash for me right now. One more time. Let's go again. Should we let him roll the dice again? He's winning huge. Who's a good pet? Yeah, that's right. To Vitaly, this had zero to do with protecting kids and everything to do with generating clicks and profit. But playing judge, jury, and executioner eventually caught up with him. Things went south fast. During a particularly messy setup, the streaming platform actually pulled the plug and nuked his channel, after a suspect stripped down in front of the decoy, and that was the final straw. It proved two things. His crew had no control over the situation, and these stunts are incredibly risky. But of course, the platform eventually caved and let him back on. So, he needed a new hustle to monetize his bad behavior. The pivot he chose, however, was going to result in way more than a suspended account. By March 27th, 2025, he ditched the predator hunting gig entirely. He booked a flight to the Philippines to reinvent himself as a travel influencer. Check out the camera guy, it's Kane, the absolute unit. The icon himself. What's up? This guy has the wildest tales, seriously. Chat, strap in, we're about to tear it up. Give them the grand tour of the mansion. Let's roam. For a brief moment, it looked like he might actually be respectful, starting off by visiting impoverished neighborhoods, handing out donations, and looking like a changed man. But the facade crumbled instantly with his next broadcast, literally labeled disturbing the peace. The classic toxic antics were back. Nobody's holding me back now, I'm off the leash. You thought my old stunts were extreme? You haven't seen anything yet. I'm entering full villain mode, level 1, 1000 chaos. I'm throwing hands like a UFC fighter, left hook, right hook, lights out. I'm crushing the competition. I'm even getting paperwork to be an honorary cop. But barely 2 hours into the broadcast, he was already tormenting every local he could find. Hey, quick question, serious inquiry. Can I stick this object where the sun doesn't shine? Just slide it right in there? It's for a game. Mario Kart spin-off, totally chill, right? When that weak attempt at comedy flopped, he decided to escalate the situation and cross the line from annoying tourist to actual criminal. Arrest me, officer. Come on. Look at this guy, he's useless. Why isn't he reacting to me? He won't even run after me. I'm begging for a pursuit here. If bothering strangers didn't get the engagement he wanted, he was happy to rinse and repeat the abuse until someone finally snapped. Nope. Nah. Absolutely not. I'm gonna devour your pet. Hey, how much to ship that mud overseas for dinner? The most twisted part of this entire display was his total lack of remorse. He didn't care about the people, he only cared about the ticker. What's the count? 4,900? Come on, let's hit 5,000. Hey lady, listen, I'm gonna mug you if you don't stop. I'm trying to hand you cash. No? Fine, keep walking with your face mask, you brainwashed sheep. Go get another booster. I was being generous, but whatever. Verbal abuse wasn't satisfying his craving for attention, so he started straight up shoplifting from local vendors. See that? That's the only supporter I've got left in this chat, since I'm washed up and nobody likes me, just this literal fan. Even after this rampage, he genuinely believed he was untouchable. He thought he could walk away scotangent free. I love live streaming, man. This is my calling. I just need people to rip these clips for TikTok, because the footage from today is gonna be everywhere. But hey, I've got my community, and that's all that matters. That's it. Well, he wasn't wrong about the exposure. His footage blew up, just not how he planned. These choices triggered a chain reaction that would ultimately drag Vitaly into a scenario he never saw coming. But before the hammer dropped, another creator, known as Unlock Philippines, Eric Cabrera, stepped up to check him. I launched my channel to explore Thailand and show the real vibe. I've only been here a month, but honestly, when we show up with this kind of reach, streaming to thousands, we hold real power. Why not use it to actually elevate the locals? Instead, there's all this footage circulating about you, highlighting the chaos you cause. But where's the positive stuff? Have you actually watched the good side of what I do? They barely cover it. So I'm asking, how does a streamer handle it when nobody broadcasts the wins? Great point, and yeah, it pisses me off. But look, I'm new to this streaming game. I'm flying solo right now. My crew ditched me, so I'm hiring clippers now. Yeah, right. Instead of reflecting on how his stunts destroyed his image and trashed the reputation of every other travel vlogger, Vitaly only cared about the clout meter. You know Atosi? Never heard of him. Well, he dropped a video 5 hours ago exposing you for harassing locals. Okay, but did he mention the 20 grand I gave away in 48 hours? Creators ignore that part, right? It won't stay hidden. My editors are on it. When I drop the real footage, the truth comes out. People ignore the good stuff. But honestly, that just tells me I'm back on the throne when they talk trash. I know I'm winning. They only try to bury you when you're soaring. When you're at rock bottom, you're invisible. It's the top dogs they want to kill. Same with my predator stings. People claim they're staged, but they're legit. But when Eric pressed him on the toxic garbage, he films. Vitaly flipped the switch to aggression instantly. I'm not talking trash, I'm asking why you even film that stuff. Because I'm standing up for the majority here. Shut the hell up, I do what I want. You gonna stalk me now? I'm not stalking you, I swear, I just wanted a real talk. You should be lifting people up, and I'm here telling everyone that you're actual scum. Cool story. Don't touch me or I'll knock you out. You're not knocking anyone out. Oh yeah? Watch me. I guarantee I'll drop you. Back up. What are you gonna do? You brought bodyguards. If I wasn't holding this camera, you don't have security either, and I'm just as big as you. Look, we don't need violence. I'm trying to leave and you're tailing me. That's harassment. I'm just calling you out for being garbage. Fine, I'm garbage. Congrats. It was obvious Vitaly didn't care who he hurt. As long as the donation notifications popped up, collateral damage didn't matter. But that luck was about to run dry. On April 2nd, reality hit hard. Filipino authorities finally cornered him. If you cannot afford counsel, the government will provide one at the government's expense. Do you understand? Yes. Even in handcuffs, Vitaly treated it like a skit, laughing and puffing on a vape while officers read him his rights. In his head, it was just a fine or a plane ticket home. Just another Tuesday. He'd been arrested abroad before, but this wasn't Egypt or the States. The Philippines doesn't play around with this behavior. By April 7th, 2025, they paraded him on national TV to face the music officially. This morning, Secretary Mulia presented the Russian vlogger detained for harassing locals to the press. The incident occurred at Bonifacio Global City in Taguig. For context, look at the laundry list of charges: alarm and scandal, attempted theft, and unjust vexation. In total, Vitaly is looking at serious time. We're talking decades if the book gets thrown at him. And the Filipino justice system seems ready to make him an example. For his whole career, Vitaly has been allergic to accountability and completely detached from reality. He spent years bullying and provoking strangers just to pump up his metrics. When people tried to check him, he just wrote them off as haters trying to dim his shine. Because he always dodged real prison time before, he thought he was untouchable. But if these reports hold up, concrete walls might be his only